closer, going faster than a roller coaster. Love like yours will surely come my way.
Hello and welcome to What the Flick. I'm Christy, that is Matt, that's Alonso, that's Ben. Hello Ben, thank you for joining us.
What up?
What up? We need to talk about Kevin with Tilda Swinton, who weirdly did not get an Oscar nomination for this role. She was sort of favored to get one.
It's
We
insane.
need to talk about Tilda.
We should. Anyways, so please tell us about the movie.
Okay, so it's based on a novel. Tilda Swinton plays a sort of world-renowned travel writer who, for some reason, decides to get married to finance guy John C. Reilly and settle down and have a kid, even though she feels smothered, and pretty much communicates that to the kid from the second he's born. And not surprisingly, the kid winds up being quite the handful.
Just because you're used to something doesn't mean you like it. You're used to me.
You wake up and you watch TV. Get in your car and you listen to the radio. And you go to your little job or your little school, but you're not going to hear about that on the 6 o'clock news.
You know where you're spending the afterlife.
I'm going straight to hell.
Because nothing is really happening. I mean, it's got so bad that half the time the people on TV, they're watching TV. And what are all these people watching? People like me.
Doesn't Kevin go to Gladstone High?
As we were watching some of the trailer, you said?
I said I'm really happy that Rooney Mara got nominated for Best Actress, but it would have made a lot more sense to have Tilda in that 5th spot, because she's amazing in this, and it's a really, really challenging, difficult role, as so many are that she takes on. But this is just
I think
really
she's
hard.
great. I think she should win. I think it's unlikely now since she wasn't nominated.
It's
That's
tough.
not really a right-in thing going on.
That's an extreme long shot.
Yeah, she is really, man, there's payoff's going to be big on that. I thought she was outstanding. I get that it's not the kind of movie that would have won even if she were nominated for it, I don't think. But, and obviously, it's a moot conversation.
I think the
now.
reason that she didn't get nominated is because this movie is not good.
It's not good. But
I disagree.
I'm a fan of
That
Lynne.
didn't stop.
The Iron Lady,
the
good
Iron Lady
point. Yes,
nomination, right?
I'm a fan of Lynne Ramsay. I didn't see Morven Caller, but I thought Ratcatcher was gorgeous, and I think she's a really fascinating filmmaker. This movie, to me, I didn't know what it was trying to say. I don't know that it knew what it was trying to say about why kids turn violent. You know, is it the parents' fault? Are they just born that way? Visually, it clobbers you over the head with its style, like
the symbolism of the red.
You start realizing there's
there's
a red thing in every scene. So every time there's a new scene, it's like, where's Waldo? You start looking for, is it the chair? Is it the lampshade? Is it the can of tomato soup? You know, it's like, oh.
And that's because of the blood.
Right, it's just a metaphor.
Which took me right out of what little plot I might have cared about.
The opening is kind of striking, though. Because you don't
where
quite know what it is at first. When she's like, what? She's being
pelted
carried.
by tomatoes. She's in that festival in Italy where they're throwing the tomatoes at each other.
It's very dramatic.
Yeah, but then after that, it's like enough with the red already. So the whole movie is like Tilda Swinton being a martyr, and like everybody hates her, and you don't quite know why. And then as the movie goes along, you figure out, you piece together what Kevin did, and maybe why he became that way, and is it Tilda's fault? Or
Yeah, but see, I didn't see any, you mentioned it in lead-in, and I didn't even see any real debate about why Kevin is Kevin. I thought very clearly Kevin is Kevin because Kevin is a bad seed. Like, that's it. And because I think we get that very early on. I think that there's a very effective scene early on when Tilda, as a new mother, is just losing it because Kevin will not stop crying.
Right, but then if he's just a bad scene, who cares? I mean,
who cares? Because she even again.
But she's a terrible mother.
She's not a good mother, but he's an impossible kid, and she tries. Like, it's not her instinct. That's not how she saw her life. But like a lot of people, I think you put it too cynically. Why did she marry? She fell in love with John C. Reilly. They were hot for each other, and then they had a kid, and she knows what she's supposed to do. And then for this first kid, the second kid was a success. But for Kevin, it's a disaster for her, and the kid never gives her a chance.
But here's the thing: if he's just evil and it's not about her parenting at all, then why are we watching this? What's the story?
Because how does a mother deal with that?
To raise the debate, the nature-nurture debate.
Yeah.
And as a mom myself, I found that kind of chilling because it does not try to give you an easy answer. You don't know whether she's just ill-equipped to be a mom. But that's okay. I would like to have the debate raised without being told what to think.
Yeah, right.
I appreciated that.
It's not even like that they give us a pat resolution. There's no anything. I didn't get any idea that the movie had any clue of anything of where it was coming from or why or that it even mattered. It just felt like this sort of random assemblage of awful kid, awful mom, go. And I didn't.
But then you don't have any blame. Like they're both sort of ill-equipped for this relationship, and you don't know whose fault it is or whether he was just born. You never know. Which I like.
But if you're going to do a movie about, is this a spoiler if we talk about what?
I think you can't reveal what happened. I think it really messes with
if you're going to touch upon the serious issues that this movie eventually does touch upon, then it's a cop-out to not try and have some sort of point of view.
Well, I think that to me there was a point of view. Kevin's a bad seed, and what was interesting was watching this mother, probably ill-equipped, to not a natural nurturer, try like hell to figure out how to do this, and the endless frustration beating her head against the wall and ultimately sacrificing essentially her whole life, which she didn't want to do in the first place, which makes her slightly unsympathetic, which I liked. And watching that sort of incredibly difficult struggle, which was what I got out of it, which is why I thought it was such a great performance.
It's just hard to talk about without giving away anything. But the fact that she then stays around to absorb the rancor of the entire community after all the things that have gone down, if it's not something that she could have controlled, then she's just being a martyr for the sake of being a martyr.
Especially given that she's a travel writer, and at one point she says, every single day, Mommy wakes up and wishes she were in Paris.
Right, exactly.
Like she knows she can go somewhere else.
Right,
fantastic.
but despite her shortcomings, she is not abandoning that kid at any moment, and she never did, despite the fact that he's the worst kid in the history of the planet. And also, I think Ezra Miller played him as a teenager, and this Jasper Newell played him young, and I thought they were great. They're really great.
In fact, Jasper Newell, who plays the sort of the younger Kevin, it was like when I saw Mildred Pierce. Everybody raved about Evan Rachel Wood, but actually the actress whose name I'm now forgetting was the younger Vita. She really lays the groundwork for that character and does a lot of the heavy lifting. So
it's hard to watch, though. It's definitely hard to watch. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I liked it better than you guys. I gave it a 7.3. I think it's difficult to.
What did I give it?
I give it 5.8.
Did I give it a 6.8?
I hated it so much I didn't even see it.
Yeah, how about that? So that pulls it to 6.6. I definitely think it's worth seeing, but it's difficult, and you will be, and mothers may get angry.
It is birth control of the movie.
Unlike me and Christy, you're not a new mother, and so you don't understand.
I like that.
You are not lactating at the moment, are you?
Well, so far as you know.
Soon. Bye.